Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a few subjects, namely Iran. Looks like Netanyahu is coming to the White House next Wednesday. Could he force his little puppet, Trump, to do an attack on Iran on behalf of Israel? Let's talk about it. And other things I'm going to be talking about is I'm going to be talking about obviously Iran. Could be talking about the new Japanese Prime Minister who's got voted in today. So I'm going to be discussing that. And I'm also going to be talking about China stopping investments in Israel and why they've done that and what does it mean. So let's discuss it. And don't forget to like and share and try and watch the video to the end. Really helps the algorithm. So let's start with Iran. So Netanyahu is coming on Wednesday to see his puppet Trump. And as always, Netanyahu is going to give orders to Trump, do this, do that, on behalf of Israel. So every time Netanyahu has come to the White House, there's always been a war or some sort of attack the day after. So it looks like Trump basically takes orders from Netanyahu. That's what it looks like from the outside. Because every time Netanyahu comes, 2 days later something happens. Last time Netanyahu arrived in the White House, 1 week later there was massive protest in Iran. There was massive riots. This does not happen as an accident, and I think what they discussed was they were going to push some riots and protest in Iran, and they would basically push for regime change, and they want Trump to basically go in there and finish off Iran by using airstrikes. And I think that was a plan. Obviously, that plan didn't work according to them. So Netanyahu is going to come back again on Wednesday, and they're going to discuss a new plan, what they're going to do with Iran. And I'm pretty sure they will do something ridiculously stupid. They will do something. I don't exactly know what it is. I doubt if Donald Trump will go on a full war with Iran because that's not part of his remit. That's not what Donald Trump wants to do. To take America into war, a full war with Iran. I don't think he can sell it to Congress, but who cares about Congress now, right? I mean, Trump basically does whatever he wants. He can put tariffs on countries, he can kidnap leaders, he can start wars. Who's there to stop him, right? So yeah, so looks like something may happen next week. It's not going to happen during the week. If you look at all the attacks that's been happening on Iraq, it's always been on a weekend when the markets are down. That's the best time they use to attack Iran. I remember the 12-day war. Israel attacked on a Friday night, and this was coordinated, obviously. And this was discussed with Trump and Netanyahu. And they said that, Trump said, oh, you can attack, but make sure you attack on Friday night so it doesn't affect the markets. S&P doesn't crash or gold prices doesn't go up. So that's what they've done. So I think they'll probably schedule something over the weekend, probably Friday or Saturday, maybe, but most likely on a Friday. And I think they are planning some sort of limited strike on Iran. Not a full war, but I think it's going to be another one of those 12-day wars that you've seen with Israel and Iran. But this time, America's going to join in. And it's going to be a short, probably some sort of limited airstrikes to try and take out their, the nuclear sites and probably some military sites they might attack. And they think that this is going to cause more riots. They think that this is going to cause a regime change. and everything will work out for United States and Israel. Correct? Wrong. Absolutely wrong, guys. This is going to be an absolute disaster for the not only for the United States but also for Israel. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a disaster. Why? Because both these guys, they're both living in cloud cuckoo land. Do you remember when Netanyahu said he's going to take out Hamas in 7 days, and that he's not going to stop the war in Gaza unless Hamas is taken out? Well, guess what? Hamas is still in Gaza. The only people Israel managed to kill in Gaza are women and children, hundreds and thousands of them. But Hamas is pretty much intact. So again, Netanyahu doesn't know what he's talking about, and Trump is pretty much following his master. Uh, he's in cloud cuckoo land himself, thinking he's going to turn Gaza into some sort of resort, beachside resort with the Trump Tower in it. I mean, these guys are living in another universe. So anyway, I think they're going to do some sort of limited strike, and there's going to be consequences. So the first consequence is oil prices are going to shoot very high, and they're going to go higher if Iran decides to block the Hormuz Strait. But I don't think they're going to block the Hormuz Strait just yet. I think that's probably going to be a last resort. But oil prices are going to go higher. And who will that benefit, first of all? It will benefit United States because United States is the biggest seller of oil and gas around the world. They have the biggest number of fracking sites all across the United States, and they make a hell of a lot of oil compared to the rest of the world. So America will firstly benefit from the high oil prices. Second country to benefit is going to be Russia, and Russia is going to benefit greatly from the high oil prices. And Russia, using that money, they're going to finish off Ukraine sooner rather than later because they're going to have a lot more money coming in, and they will use that money to finish off Ukraine. So that's one consequence. So basically, Trump's going to help Russia finish off Ukraine sooner rather than later. The other consequence is going to be obviously Iran's going to make a lot of money from this, and Middle Eastern countries are going to make a lot of money from it as well with the high oil prices, and the rest of the world are going to be suffering because the rest of the world who need oil and gas, they're the ones that are going to be suffering. We're talking about the global South countries, and China is not going to be affected as much, mainly because half of the cars in China are EV. They got huge renewable um, facilities. Half of China's energy is using renewables, and I think China got huge amounts of oil already in China as reserves, so they could tap into those reserves if need be. But I think it's going to affect more the global South countries. It's going to affect countries like India, for example, Pakistan, who heavy importers of oil and gas, and they've got high populations as well. It's going to affect Europe very badly. Inflation is going to shoot up all across the world, including America, by the way. So you're going to have high oil prices, high inflation. Probably markets are going to be going absolutely bananas because of all the uncertainty that's happening. Markets are going to be going up and down, very volatile. So that's another consequence as well. And then Iran will probably start striking back into Israel again. And remember the last time when Israel was completely attacked by Iran for 12 days. That's going to be happening all over again because Iran has pretty much got his stockpiles back of missiles, and they will start firing missiles at Iran. And this time they're going to start firing missiles at US bases around the Middle East as well. So all the countries that are hosting American bases, they're going to be attacked. And it's just going to escalate, guys. It's just going to escalate. And I think Israel and America will probably escalate it further, and they will start doing more bombing runs on Iran because they will want revenge from all the attacks that Iran is doing. So they will start doing more bombing runs on Iran. And guess what? I think Iran's going to surprise the US by throwing a couple of hypersonic missiles into an aircraft carrier, and they'll probably sink the aircraft carrier. And then America's going to go, oh my God, this is our Pearl Harbor. This is our September 11th. We're going to take out Iran. And they're also going to blame China as well. So they're going to say, oh, this is our Pearl Harbor. They've destroyed our aircraft carrier. They've killed, thousands of U.S. Soldiers and Navy officers. They've destroyed trillions worths of equipment. We want revenge. We want to take out Iran. And they will go, basically, Trump will go into Congress and declare full war on Iran. And they'll probably also declare war on China as well, because China's been helping Iran, and also Russia as well. Because once America starts playing the victim, starts, basically saying, "Oh, this is our Pearl Harbor. We need to take out Iran." And I think that's when the war is really going to escalate. And I hope this is not the case, but I think it could end up being Iran could end up being nuked. So there's a couple of possibilities here. If America or Israel starts using nukes on Iran, what could be the possibilities? Number one, Iran could have nukes of its own in secret. They haven't really told anyone about it. If they have, then I actually support this because I think every country needs to have nukes to support themselves from the American bullying. And so if Iran does have nukes, I think they need to declare it as soon as possible. Because if they declare it, that will stop America from using nukes on Iran because they will think twice before they use it. Because they cannot go start using nukes on Russia or China because they know Russia and China can fire back with nukes. So Iran needs to declare that as soon as possible. If they don't have nukes, then they need to build one as soon as possible. And if if they don't use nukes, and if they do what they did to Venezuela and start kidnapping Khomeini, for example, which is going to be impossible, by the way, because you know Israel has been trying to kill Khomeini for over 50 years. They have not, you know, they have not managed it. You can imagine lots of CIA operators going into Iran for all these years trying to kill him, but they haven't managed to find him or kill him. And airstrikes are not going to work because they don't know where he is. And Iran is a massive country full of mountains and stuff. And the IRGC are not easily, you cannot bribe the IRGC. They're not the same as Maduro's army of ragtags, where you can bribe them and stuff like that. So it's not the same kettle of fish, guys. And even if they take, let's just say they know where Khamenei is, Grand Ayatollah Khamenei, I'm talking about. Let's just say they know where he is and they take him out. Let's just say they take him out with a massive bomb, and it's not it's not really it really doesn't matter because you know the IRGC of Iran, they are their own unit. They do not need Khamenei, the Grand Ayatollah Khamenei, to basically tell them what to do. Iran and Pakistan are very much similar. Those countries have got their own military, and the military is not controlled by the government. So in Pakistan, you have your military, which is its own, its own basically wing. And the military actually controls the government, not the other way around. So this is why, in the same way, the IRGC in Iran controls more of the government than the government tells IRGC what to do. So I think even if they take out Khomeini, it's not really a bad thing. It's just going to make Iran even more angry. And also, the shackles are going to come off, the handcuffs are going to come off, because Khomeini is the reason why there's a fatwa on Iran not to have nuclear weapons. And you know, I think that he needs to take this fatwa off as soon as possible. Because this is basically, if they have not built the bomb, that is the reason why they have not built the bomb, because of this fatwa. So if they do take out Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini, I think the shackles of Iran will come off. The IRGC will have total power, full control, and I think they will build the bomb straight away. And I think they have all the materials to build the bomb. And I think even if they take him out, that won't be a bad thing for Iran. So so these are just some of the consequences, guys. And the largest consequence is, if things really do escalate and Iran gets a lot of help from China and Russia, and America starts blowing up Chinese interests in Iran and Russian interests in Iran, and then America starts blowing up Chinese interests in other parts of the world, and this could really, really escalate. And if they do declare war on Iran and they do what they did with Iraq, I don't know if you guys remember what they did with Iraq. If any country was helping Iraq at the time, they were attacked as well. They did the same thing with Vietnam. If you remember Vietnam, you know, a lot of countries around Vietnam helped Vietnam. We're talking about Laos, Cambodia, and not, obviously China as well. Laos was the heaviest country that got bombed, and as well as Cambodia. I mean, those two countries got bombed to smithereens. We're talking about, Americans were using Agent Orange and all sorts of other chemicals, chemical weapons, and things like that. So, same way, if any country helps Iran, they will look at them as an enemy, and I think they might, and this could start World War III. I think this, they could, if it escalates anymore and they make China into an enemy and they start attacking Chinese interests, not only just in Iran but other parts of the world, this could escalate, and China would obviously fight back. They will take back, Taiwan straight away, and that could escalate as well. And obviously, with Russia, it could escalate as well. Europe might join in and help Ukraine. So we're talking about World War III here. If they don't be too careful with what they're doing, and the countries that will suffer are the global South countries, because at that point the oil price is going to be sky high, $300, $400, $500 a barrel, because it's World War III. Everyone's fighting each other. Everyone's destroying each other's, you know, refineries, or and oil stations and stuff. And that could happen. They could start having a tanker war. They could start destroying each other's tankers, and things can really, really escalate if they're not too careful. I'm hoping that Trump is actually, he has enough decent people around him to tell him not to do it, not to attack Iran, and not to escalate. I really hope so. But from what I've seen, I do not see anyone with any brain in his administration, not even one. They're all bunch of low IQ. Elon loves to use the word retards, but yeah, I mean, pretty much that sums it up, guys. I think they all are because I've not seen one intelligent guy in Trump's administration. I don't think he's got a single good ear to tell him, this is a bad idea. Do not do this. I think all the people around him are warmongers. They all want war. They all want to attack Iran. They all want money. They all want to make money. Basically, they will make a lot of money if the oil prices go to 300, 400, 500. They're going to make a lot of money. They're going to make a lot of money from the military industrial complex. And if Iran is destroyed, they're going to make a lot of money from Iran as well. They're going to go in there, steal all Iran's natural resources. So yeah, so it's all about money in the day. So that's what could happen, but I think it's going to go horribly wrong, not only for America but also for Israel. And Iran will fight back. Iran will fire lots of missiles into Israel. Israel will be pretty much most of it will be destroyed. And yeah, it's not going to look good, guys. It's going to get very, very messy very quickly. So I hope they don't start attacking Iran next week. I really hope. But let's just see what happens. So you can see all these media outlets are saying that they're really egging Trump on at this point. They're really saying, look, there's lots of activities going on in Iran, in the nuclear sites, so you need to attack it again. And so there's a lot of newspapers that kind of pro attacking Iran because you see all the newspapers over the last few weeks, they're all saying, oh, there's going to be an attack imminent, there's going to be an attack imminent. All the media is basically they're all bloodthirsty, guys, all bloodthirsty. They want Iran's blood. And I was one of the few people that said, there's not going to be an attack, guys. Calm down, there's not going to be an attack. But all the media seems to be, there will be an attack. But I think right now, I'm just hoping there's no attack, by the way. I'm not here to say there's not going to be an attack or there will be an attack. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to happen next week or the week after. But it looks like they all want to attack. That's the difference. Trump administration wants to attack. Israel wants America to attack. So I think, it all depends on Donald Trump, how easily he is swayed, how easily he is persuaded to start another war with Iran. So let's see. Let's see, guys. So there's this article I saw. It says Iran is not Venezuela and Ayatollah is not Maduro, which is which is accurate, guys, because again, Iran has been pretty much getting ready for a major war with Israel and America for over 50 years. They knew this was coming, guys. And IRGC has been planning for this for over 50 years. They've been planning for this. Iraq was nothing. Iran is the big fish. Look at Israel. Israel went into Gaza and they couldn't take out Hamas in 2 years. They couldn't take out Hamas. Israel's army got absolutely destroyed, and only way Israel can fight in Gaza was air. They used to drop air bombs basically. But people that went in with tanks and armored personnel carriers got absolutely destroyed. I mean, there's so much footage out there on Twitter. All these Israeli tanks and armored carriers being destroyed. There's all these Israeli soldiers getting sniped. You know, so the only way they could do that is completely destroy Gaza, start dropping bombs. That's the only way they could fight. But they cannot do that in Iran because Iran we're talking about 1,000 times bigger than Gaza, and there's underground tunnels everywhere. And Iran is a lot more technologically advanced. They have these hypersonic missiles. So you cannot really march into Iran or Tehran with tanks because these hypersonic missiles will pretty much take you out. And the only way they can win is by air power. But even air power, I think, is going to be quite limited because I think Iran has all the latest radars from China now. And I think Iran is a lot more prepared. And I think it's gonna, if Iran manage to take out one F-35 or one B-2 bomber, then it's game on because that means Americans and the Israelis are not, you know, they're not invincible anymore in the air. If a country like Iran can take out a B-2 or an F-35 with radars and missiles or planes, then then it's game on, guys. Because this will be a completely different type of warfare after that. So what's America going to do if that happens? Well, we don't know yet. So let's see. So let's talk about Japan. And so this lady, this little American poodle who loves jumping up and down next to Trump. I don't know if you've seen the clip. Absolutely cringeworthy. She's just won the Japanese election, guys. And I gotta say, the Japanese people are really, really brainwashed to kind of vote for her. Absolutely brainwashed. She's an absolute China hawk. And she's put in power for one thing, and that's to antagonize China. That's the only thing she's been put in power for. Trump will love her because if there's a war with China over the next few years, you know that she will join in because she said she will join in. And Trump will love her. The Americans will love her. She's going to absolutely destroy the economy because I don't think she knows what she's doing or what she's talking about. She has no idea about the economy. The yen has been falling, and the Japanese bonds yields have been rising. Japan's ready to collapse any moment, guys. Any moment, Japan's ready to collapse, and Japan is ready to sell, you know, billions worth of American bonds. They're ready to sell the dollar. So there could be a big economic collapse coming in Japan, mainly because of her. And she's very antagonistic to China, and China is one of the biggest, largest trading partners. And once you start if your foreign policy is to antagonize China, things are not going to go well for you for Japan because who are you going to trade with? America with Trump when he's ready to put all these tariffs and sanctions on you? I mean, come on, guys. This woman is absolutely diabolical. Diabolical. She has no idea about foreign policy. All she knows is how to be a good puppet to Trump. That's all she knows, and that's all the Japanese know. It's they are a state. They are a state that is ready to disappear in like in 20 years because of the population crisis. As nobody's having babies in Japan, so they're ready to disappear. Their economy is ready to fall. Is falling down. It's an absolute nightmare. All the Japanese car companies are ready to go bankrupt because you have Nissan, Honda, all these big, massive Japanese car companies who refuse to do EV cars now cannot sell a car in China to save their lives. There's no Japanese cars being sold in China at the moment because nobody wants them anymore. And they're all gas powered. The Japanese car makers, they're so arrogant. They thought that EV is never gonna, it's never gonna take over China, and they basically completely overlooked the power of EV cars in China, and now they've completely been left behind. Chinese people are buying Chinese EV cars. They're also buying Tesla as well. So if you don't have an EV car, you are going to fall behind, and that's what's happening to all the Japanese cars. They cannot get into the Chinese market anymore. So this is going to really hurt Japan over the next few years. I think there's going to be a major collapse of Japan's economy, and if there is a war, and I think Trump and the Americans are probably going to use Japan like Ukraine, and they're going to fight China with every last Japanese. I think that's what they're going to do, and she will gladly do it. She is that stupid, unfortunately. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Otherwise, the video is going to get too long, and I'll talk about the other subjects another day. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, for now.